Yo, what's up, guys? Satch here. I kind of want to talk about a couple things. First off, been a couple months, maybe two, I think, with the Squid Industries Kraken, the live blade. This one is absolutely beautiful. I mean, not much to be said about the knife that hasn't already been said. And I also kind of want to talk about a few different style of flipping things. Uh, I find it's always really hard to flip and film. Like, I kind of have to focus on one or the other. Like, it's not hard to flip and talk, but to make sure that like the knife is staying in the the bounds of the camera is always very difficult for me. And I don't know, maybe it just I always flip. I do a lot of hand movement. I find a lot of people they're able to keep things a little tighter, but for me, like sometimes it just gets moved around. So it's hard to kind of get everything in there. But so yeah, definitely I want to talk about the Kraken, other knives I'm thinking of getting, and then also want to talk a little bit about some flipping style stuff, which I think is really cool. I'm going to go into tech, or at least trying to talk a little bit about tech. We got the basic reverse thumb chaplain tech open, which I think is just, it's kind of all right, but the short and neat is something that I've really been trying to get down recently with this one. But again, it's a hard move by itself, and I really don't think I'm going to be able to do it while also figuring out the camera. But let me. Oh, no, we missed there. We're going to go for a spine roll open for the ending. Very, very messed up, but regardless. So first off, we'll talk about this knife, the Squid Industries Kraken Tonto V3. It's definitely, I would describe it as very much a default flipper. Like in many ways, it's so perfect that it's almost a little boring. Like it's very standard. Everything just works. I mean, you can look at the handle drop, just everything about the knife. It's just perfect. It's just supposed to work, and it does. And that's honestly very cool. However, I am kind of looking for some more interesting flippers, I feel like, because honestly, it's a little too standard sometimes. I mean, I'm not a pro, and I definitely feel like getting into the tech moves, it really helps accentuate kind of just how good the Squid. Hold on, I got to lock in for the aerial there. It shows just how good the Squid is, really, in terms of all the balancing and stuff, and especially now that I'm kind of figuring out fans and stalls a little more. It's definitely really good for all those. You can really just feel how quality it is, especially on the stalls. Just how little movement and motion you're getting, like side to side. It's just perfect. I mean, looking at like the guides for like what knives to buy and all that stuff, you look and you see things, and basically everyone kind of says that if you don't know what you want, you should get a Kraken. And honestly, I would say I mostly agree, because I think regardless of if you love it or just, can appreciate and respect it, I think it's pretty hard to go wrong with it. And if you ever decide to really get, more tech with your stuff, it'll be there for you. But right now, I really only got this live blade right now. I have no trainers. I got a little bit of electrical tape right over here, you can see. But honestly, I don't like putting it on. It kind of sticks up the blade. You got to wash it off. And, I don't know. I feel like the whole point of the hobby is the aesthetic. And ruining it in that way, doesn't sit right with me. But speaking of other knives that I was looking at, considering maybe one of my grails, but that would definitely be in a little bit. We'll talk about them. Right now, I actually have one knife on the way, and then one knife waiting for me as a surprise. So it is my birthday actually right now. So I'm waiting, gonna go and maybe have dinner or something with my dad later. And I had mentioned, a nice little gift could be a trainer, that I was in the market for one maybe. And I was over there recently on kind of unannounced, and I saw on the dresser a Nibalis package. So I know what the Nibalis package looks, Nibalis maybe, who knows. So I definitely got some Nibalis knife waiting for me. Well, Nibalis trainer waiting for me. So I'm really excited for whatever that is. I know Nibalis makes good, good trainers overall. If I had to hope for one, I almost don't even want to say it, because honestly, it's a gift I'm going to be very happy with literally whatever it is, especially considering I'm just looking to kind of mix it up, go for a more fun flipper maybe. But yeah, it's hard to do that while looking at the camera, but go for a more fun flipper maybe. And it's just like, I don't want to be negative at all about a gift, but definitely the things that I would be most excited to get, I would love the wing. I thought was the nicest knife. I don't think it will be the wing, simply because it was like significantly more expensive than some of the other stuff, but I did think the wing was a very nice knife. So I would love to see that. Love to get that, but I don't think that's going to be it. On the cheaper side, I really like the extrusion. Wait, no, the impulse, the new one. Although I'm not really sure exactly if that one's going to be obvious looking at it. The cheese, I think, would also be cool, but I don't know. I think it could, I've heard it's a very good flipper, but at the same time, I have heard it's a little handle biased, and I've been kind of trying to get into these more, fan technical tricks, and I think those tend to prefer a more neutral weight. But we will see. But yeah, definitely the impulse or the wing would be my top hopes for what to get. And then after that, actually it's out of stock right now, but I think the like the cat trainer, that would be very cool if I could get that one. Although I don't know, I do like things that look like a knife. So, and I think I may have even mentioned that. Ooh, almost. I'm not gonna go for a regular thumb chaplain into a behind the eight ball down that one. But yeah, so definitely looking for a trainer there, just to have to not worry about taping, to be able to, honestly, one of the things I really need to practice is like scissoring. You can see I don't got the grip there. I think it's like you end up like this. No, maybe I did have it right the first time. It's whatever. But yeah, I really want to get into some more aerials, some more scissoring, and even just be able to practice some of the things with a little less fear of cutting myself. I don't know if you can see, but I got kind of little cuts all over my hand. This one from fucking doing the short and neat right at the end there. Threw it up. Kind of hard to get the regular amount of rotation speed when you're just throwing with your pinky like that at the end. So caught it right on the tip. You know how it goes, but it's whatever. And we'll drop the knife for good measure. But the impulse, would love to see that one. The wing, I'd be happy with any of the Volp stuff. I mean, there's really nothing I'd be unhappy with, honestly, even the cheese or all that stuff. So I'm definitely excited for whatever that may bring. And then, aside from that, I wish I knew the Z choker. However, aside from that, the other knife, which I actually have on the way, I actually have ordered. I'm so excited for this, because this was actually a knife that I wanted a lot. This was a knife I really wanted. This was one of the first ones when I kind of got back into this hobby in August, September, or whatever. One I really wanted was the Necron. The Jade Necron, I think, is such a nice looking knife. The way the scimitar blade, I know there's no pictures of it, but the scimitar blade, I don't know if that's the right word for it, but the blade, I love the Jade G10 handles, the little bit of gold, the black on the bottom just to round it out. I love the shape, the size. The Necron is just a really nice looking knife. And the issue, of course, multifaceted, and definitely I'm not the first one to speak about it, is that the actual Benchmade product sucks. Like, the specifications on it suck. And it's honestly crazy. I mean, it's been said a million times before, but it is crazy that you can charge $500 for a knife that has such low quality control, that has, I think it's either washers or bearings. It's definitely not bushings. And then there's just so many other minor design changes with it that just aren't good. I think it's like steel liners underneath the G10. Just absolute, it's a shame. But we can look. And I did look and heard people talking about the clone. Got to get the Necron clone. But when I checked and was looking into it, the only available clone options was like a pink one with a black blade, which I don't know. That one, a little too giving e-boy, e-girl, I don't know. So I wasn't really rocking with that one. And again, I really did just want the Jade liner one. But I saw B+, Balisong Plus or whatever, restocked. So I decided to pick that up. So that is coming on the way right now. I got a live blade Jade Necron clone with the titanium liners, which I'll hopefully be doing a review for, although I've heard a lot of good things about it. And this is the new batch of them. So super excited to see that and how that goes. Cannot wait, honestly. So excited. My voice is cracking, but yeah. So Necron coming. Very excited for that. Very, very excited for that. And again, that kind of just ties into what I'm talking about, where it's like, I want fun flippers. I feel like, flipping is fun, of course, in the first place, and this is kind of the Kraken that I'm talking about, the Krake Raken or whatever, is the perfect flipper. But, it just sometimes it's too perfect. And I think, it's not like I'm competing or anything. You guys can say I'm far from probably even a solid, intermediate flipper. But, definitely just want some more fun things. So I think that'll probably close out what I'm talking about, balisongs. Quick review of that. Raken, perfect knife. So perfect, so standard that it's a little boring. You can see, I think mine's got like a little bit of play. I think this is. And then maybe a little bit tap. I don't know if you can kind of hear that. I don't really mind it. This is my beater knife right now. You can see I drop it a lot on the couch, and there hasn't been a bad drop in the video, but sometimes, I'll be practicing a ladder or something like that, and instead of, when I'm really practicing solo, when I'm really practicing solo, sometimes you'll go like this, and then on this one, just won't get the grip strength. It just gets thrown at the wall or something, or to the side by my computer. And I've had some definitely knocks that sound pretty bad, where it'll be like open and this thing, like the end of the handle will slam in. You can just tell it, it's not doing good for the knife. I had to retune it recently because it was getting loose, re-Loctite it. But overall, perfect knife. And then coming up, random Nabali's trainer. Super excited to see that later today. Maybe we'll make a video on my first impressions on whatever that is. And then the Necron live blade, rep, clone, whatever you want to call it. I understand you can't really call them reps in this hobby because of the BRS, I think. But yeah, so super excited for that to come in, and just looking for some fun flippers. So moving on to kind of the styles of flipping, I feel like, you have your traditional, your basic opens and quick draws that kind of come from more of the, the classical use as a blade or whatever, as a weapon. And then you kind of have your second generation, which is really like the big revival thing, where you got, your flow flippers, where you're really just trying to paint broad strokes and just make the knife kind of dance around. And again, we're just going to keep dropping it. It's okay. But yeah, flow flippers and stuff like that. And then there's kind of this newer generation, I feel like, which is like tech flipping. And I will say the first time I saw like some of the tech, like the short and neat, I definitely saw that combo pretty early. And honestly, I just thought, it really didn't look that good. Like, I feel like if you aren't really aware of what you're looking at, kind of, like, this combo looks very much like you're doing a whole bunch of nothing. And then, like, a whole bunch of easy nothing. Because, I feel like the outsider thought is, anything where the knife is really spinning, like, that is way harder and way cooler, compared to something like this where you're kind of just manipulating it in your hand. But I definitely do feel like as you kind of gain more of an appreciation for some of the conceptualities and the art of flipping, I guess, or everything else you could say about it, more of the technicalities of it, you kind of get into the tech where it's more about, how it's subtly moving around your fingers and stuff. And it's definitely very cool. I definitely am really interested in this tech thing. Been watching some just old bat tutorials. Really only bothered to start, practicing the short and neat. At the same time, as you can watch me over and over, I'm still failing shortstops. Like, shortstop is a difficult move. I don't cut myself often on it, but the shortstop is a move that I am just cutting myself on. Ugh. But yeah, that's the thing with tech, is it's like, it's very, did I get that? Wow. It's very, oh, there it goes. It's very, like, sporadic, and it's very, what's the word for it? Technical. I don't know. That really is the word for it. It's very technical, but it's less flashy. But I don't know. I think it's a lot cooler. It's also easier to do it without, being fully locked in, I feel like, because it's more natural. But it's a lot about more of the subtle movements, whereas, your rollovers and stuff you can do pretty consistently, whereas, like, something like this, you really got to be very intentional, because there's just so many ways it can mess you up. Going around and this, and, if your momentum is slow, it just doesn't work. But I don't know. Technical flipping, very, very dope. Kind of one of the other things, I guess, that really makes stuff tech is the spine grab, which I think is honestly just really cool, especially being someone who was kind of into the hobby very, very lightly, like way many years ago. Coming back and seeing like spine grabs really be used, like the spine roll open, I think is just so dope. It doesn't necessarily look as dope as some other stuff, because again, it's a little choppy, but it just feels so different, so interesting. Like, and again, when you do it, like, you have to, like, the whole trick of the spine roll, I feel like, is it's all about keeping this momentum. And I think that just makes it so interesting and so enjoyable to do. I mean, I remember even before I knew I can't do that if I'm not paying attention. Before I even knew what that was, that it was called tech, I guess. I remember the first time I did the spine roll open, I was like, oh, okay, that's tech. Just like, because it's so cool. And this pinky close was another one, just going through Big Flips Beginners videos where, you do it and instantly you're just like, oh yeah, that's sick. So, and yeah, I guess there's always aerials again. Always kind of scared to do the aerial because I'm looking at my the camera, looking through the lens, but at the same time, I gotta look at my fucking hand, so it's very difficult. But regardless, what do you guys think about tech flipping? What do you think about blades? Is there anything you're looking to try? Am I right or wrong about the Kraken. What do you guys think about it? Although I don't expect to hear much different. Although, to circle back to thinking about blades and stuff, things I'm interested in right now, kind of a obvious grail, but my grail right now, which isn't on the horizon to be purchased at all, maybe next year, probably, maybe like by summer next year. I think I'll maybe pull the trigger on it, maybe my birthday next year, maybe pull the trigger on it, but would love machine-wise. Probably the Opus V2, just because it has V2 in the name. I know a lot of people like the Seraph as well, but I don't know. I think I'll just go for an Opus. And I love the anodized handles on it too, on the Opus. Well, on a lot of the machine-wise stuff. So very interested in getting something like that. Would love to flip it. And yeah, I think that's where I'm going to end it. Thank you guys so much if you watched. Let me know what you think and let me know how to figure out Z-chokers. Bye.